What if there was another way to actually live, a way that you can actually start to be in charge of your own healing, a way to get out of this survival mode and into creative mode? Well, it's my job as your host of the Healing Tree Hub to introduce you to some modalities that might actually make all the difference and to give you your power back. My name is Sarah, and I have the pleasure of meeting you every week to discuss new modalities and new topics that are really making a difference out there. So buckle up and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Healing Tree Hub. Today is a super exciting podcast because I have one of my dearest friends, Amanda Groves, and I'm so excited to finally be sharing this podcast with somebody else and actually getting to interview some really special people, people that I find to be exceptionally admirable and have fantastic stories and skills and so many wonderful ideas and creations that they've come up with. So I invited Amanda today because I just find her to be an incredible entrepreneur, businesswoman out there. I find her to be so energetic and exciting, and she's always got a new idea, and I love her story. I absolutely love her story about how she awoken and became quite advanced in her clairs. So, Amanda, I'll stop talking. How are you? And thank you for joining my show.
Hey, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. And I cannot wait to dive deep into what you've been up to the last 12 months, especially. But before we go any further, I can't wait to tell my listeners how we actually met, because it's one of the most craziest insane stories. The kind of story you got to pick your audience for. So hopefully everyone listening to this podcast is quite open, because we're going to get really woo-woo on you. So Amanda, how we'll do this is I'll tell my part, and then you can jump in on your part, and you can just add whatever you need to add. But I remember it was early this year, correct me if I'm wrong, and I was very, very much getting into my clairaudience. So for those of you that are unaware of what clairaudience is, it's when you are in a meditative state, or some people don't need to be in that, but I needed to be at the time, and you start to hear voices. Sounds very schizophrenic of me, but these voices are completely divine and some of the most incredible inspirational information that comes through. Anyway, so this day was supposed to be a really busy day for me. I was supposed to be working a lot, catching up with my friend for coffee. It was supposed to be full packed, and everything got cancelled by 9 o'clock in the morning. My 2 clients cancelled, and my best friend Sol, she had to cancel our catch up. Anyway, so I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is a really rare moment for a mum of 3 children to actually have some Netflix and chill time. So I got onto my couch with my jammies on, and I was so cozy and comfy. I'm like, yes, this is the best. Put on my Netflix and off I go. And I just took a moment to sort of check in with my guides and angels, which is welcome to my world, something that I do. And I got a message come through so strong, and the message said, get up, get dressed, put your makeup on, and go to the crystal shop in Kilmore. And I said, nope. I'm way too cozy, and I don't even know of a crystal shop in Kilmore because I'm brand new to Wallen. And I sat down and sunk back in and tried to ignore it, but nope, this voice was on repeat. Get up, get dressed, put your makeup on, and go to the crystal shop in Kilmore. It did not stop. The voice kept going and going and going until eventually I got up, got my clothes on, my makeup on, jumped in the car and went, okay, now where am I going? I don't even know where I'm going. And they just basically guided me all the way to Kilmore. And I remember parking. They said to stop, and I remember parking, and there was a guitar store, and I was like, oh my God, I'm losing the plot. Seriously, I felt like I've been guided the whole way here, and it's a guitar shop. there's no crystal shop here. And I started to pull out of the parking lot. And as I pulled out, there was Amanda's Enchanted Crystal company with beautiful sparkly lights. And I'm like, okay, reverse back into the spot. And my next challenge was, what on earth do I say to this shop owner? Like, what do I actually say? Do I pretend to be a customer and go in all inauthentic? Or do I literally tell them the crazy truth that my guide sent me there and I don't know why? Oh, and one other thing that I forgot to mention. During the hassle of being badgered into going, my guide said to me, they've been waiting for you. They've been waiting for you. Hurry up. And I just thought that was really strange and creepy. Anyway, so off I went, got out of the car, shaking like a leaf, feeling like an absolute fool. And I walked in and I opened the door and the chimes chimed and I saw Amanda's amazing bubbly face. And we both greeted each other with a hi, as if we have known each other all our life. And I just felt like we definitely were connected in some other life. And I'm going to stop there and pass you on, Amanda. What on earth were you thinking of crazy woman Sarah walking into your shop that day?
I kind of feel like that's my normal day. Sometimes in the shop, people just walk in and I'm like, hi, or I'll say, how are you going? And they'll either start crying or they'll just start telling me stories like you did. And you've kind of come in and you're like, told me your story, or your guides told me I have to come here. And I'm like, well, funny enough, because I was just starting my first market to help connect people, which is pretty much what my store's all about. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're here to do my market. And I really do believe that my shop is the best for manifesting, because I just throw it out there all the time, and people like you just walk on in for exactly the reason that I'm after. So yeah, I couldn't believe it when you told me the story. I'm like, okay, yeah, she's not crazy, because this happens a lot, as much as you probably think everyone thinks you're crazy. But no, it was, yeah, I couldn't believe it. Just in you walk like a ray of sunshine, just coming in my shop. And yeah, it's good how close have we been since that day, that, I love that you listen to your voices.
No, we have been thick as thieves, and that's the crazy part about this story. We started doing workshops together. We created so much fun. So much fun was created. Yep. Like, we have been having fun all year and supporting each other's business, sending each other clients, and it's just been a wild ride. I don't think Wall and Healing Tree would have been as successful as it actually is right now without your support, because it has just been absolutely beautiful to have the community, the connection, and the ability, a forum for me to be able to do workshops. So thank you very much. I'd like to publicly say thank you for that.
Oh, and this is the joyous part of opening up the shop to people to come do workshops if they like to. So in this way, we shouldn't be competing. We should all be working together. So people resonate with people for different reasons. So as much as you say, if it wasn't for the shop, it actually wasn't for you, because you're attracting all these beautiful people to come to you. So thank you for coming to my shop. And and again, you said it in your first podcast, it's all about who you attract, and you do well we attracted each other. So
absolutely. And you mentioned before manifestation, and I had manifested a community. I needed a community. I'd been doing a lot of the journey alone, and I really needed to start building community. And I remember one of the first things that you said to me was, I want to create a community hub in our area, in our little local country town. And for those of you listening in all different countries, which I know you are, which is so much fun, we are from a little town. Well, Wallen and Kilmore are very close by, but it's such a spiritual hub, and it is absolutely incredible. And Amanda is diving headfirst and connecting so many people. She owns a little business. Well, it's actually not so little now. It's doing really well.
Getting there.
It's actually killing it. A brilliant company called Enchanted Crystal Company, but it's not just a crystal shop. This shop is as I mentioned before, it's like a community connection spot. Amanda is an incredible reader, probably one of the most intuitive and natural readers I have ever met. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You have such a gift, and it's so beautiful. But it's not, you don't even need the cards. And I think I'm letting out your secret, but you do the card properly. You've just got this ability to read people straight away. And that is an incredible gift. And I love learning from you because you're quite exceptional with that. But this business that you're running, it's incredible. You've opened up workshops that allow people to taste test different modalities. How cool is that? Tell us more about that. Tell us more about what you're doing with the different areas in the business.
Okay. I think the main thing for me with opening this up was when I first started into this, I didn't know a lot. So it was, what do I want to learn about, or what do I need to learn about? And for me to do this, as you said, it's a good little taste tester, because we'll go into a lot of different areas. So like we did on one of our first ones, we did our clairs, and, that was a lot of fun. And a lot of people now want to get into the meditation side of things a lot more. So we have had a lot of like past life meditation, the cacao as I call it, because I just like chocolate, ceremonies, and hopefully soon getting into the sound therapy, because I love the crystal sound bowls, and other things too. Like we have our reading nights, we'll be doing our healing nights, and when we have special guests such as yourself, we'll be doing our inner child meditations, and loving your energy medicine. That was a big hit.
Oh, so much fun.
Yeah, loved it. And also trying to do, for people too that aren't confident with the abilities that they're learning, to actually learn, or how should I say, to help them progress more and have that confidence to keep pushing. So especially when it comes to readings, a lot of people want to be read but don't necessarily want to do the work themselves because they don't have the confidence. So they're the nights I like the most, where we get to help people, but they also get to trial it on other people that are so willing to help other people, because we've all been in the same boat.
And it's such a safe environment. You don't feel judged or anything. And I love so many of the novices coming in that are brand new to all of this and just have like a little sparked interest. And all of a sudden that blows their mind that they actually have some abilities.
Yes.
I remember bringing a friend, and my friend Tanya came one night, and it was a psychic games night. And she won. Didn't she win it? Like, she was insanely psychic. And she was one of those people who were like, oh, I'll just come because you're dragging me there. But it was absolutely incredible to see, when you're in a safe environment, how people flourish, which is so much fun. And it's a safe environment. And it removes all the fear from all the stigmatized work that can be in these modalities. It just removes it. And that's what I love about your workshops and your company. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about how did you become such an intuitive reader, and how did you create this manifestation?
Wow. Okay. Well, not like yourself. I wasn't one that had experiences as a child. I was more always scared of ghosts, or even watching Henry Tyler, I'd be like, oh my God, is something in the house? It was always a scary thing for me, which I've completely changed my views now. But I suppose it probably first started when I've been a driving instructor for 20 years. And I used to remember driving into Seymour when I'd first start to do a test, and I'd be like, what test number are we going to have today? And I'd see a number, and I'd be like, okay, well, I'll go over that test run just to, give them a little freshen up on that. And then would always get that test number. And I'm like, oh, what are the odds of that? Like, when it would keep happening. And I remember my sister always saying to me, like, your women's intuition is massive. Always listen to it. So, that was a big thing that sparked my interest a little bit. But it wasn't until I worked for a lady who was interested in crystals, and they were pretty. So to me, that was my first spark. I'm like, oh, they look pretty. What are they about? And the more I did my research on crystals and the meaning behind them, the more I suppose that was my little rabbit hole that I fell in, and just started collecting more and more crystals. And probably wasn't until my husband said, is that about enough? And I'm like, oh no, well, maybe I'll start selling them. That got me into that path. But I actually bumped into a friend. I actually bought a crystal off her, and we started talking about crystals, about spiritual things. And I actually did my first, I did my Reiki course with her. And it wasn't until the first course that all these visions started coming through that have now come true. When I did my yeah, it's freaky through my attunement. And she actually drew a card for me, and it said, jump all in, just go. And I'm like, well, I want to quit my job and work with the crystals. And pretty much from that day forth, I've just kept jumping. It's, things are right when everything works out for you. And it did. Everything just come along so easily, and doing different courses. And one of them I'd done was a little bit on a few things. And when it come to the readings, I don't know if it was the same for other people, but I was so drawn to that. And I'm like, well, I think I can do this, and then the more I practiced, the more new things kept coming to me. It wasn't just thinking about it and, trusting that. It was then the sight and, gee, what you feel with people. And I don't know, it just really, that was massive for me, to how much I don't even know the word. I just fell in love with doing readings. So massive passion.
Alignment. Yeah.
Yes.
It's so interesting when we finally find alignment of flow in our life. It's like the path of least resistance. It just flows down the river, and it's just so easy, and it's fun, and it's enjoyable.
Yes.
I know this work does not feel like work to me, and I know you feel the same.
Exactly the same. Exactly. And I'm probably so glad that one day that I was driving down the main street, and I actually saw the four leaf sign on the old florist, which is what my shop used to be. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to ring this guy, because how cool would it be to have a shop? And that's about as much planning as I'd had into going into business, is how cool is this shop? And I went in the next day and I saw the shop, and I'm like, I come home to my husband, I'm like, so I'm going to get a shop. Wow. And he goes, a rock shop? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, love, there's not a lot of clients. Like, who's going to be into rocks? I'm like, if you build it, they will come. And I tell you what, there are some nights where we're doing our group work and someone will say, oh, we should do a class in like palmistry, for example. And then the next day a lady walks in that does palmistry, and I'm like, what do you do on Tuesday nights? And then so she joins the group. And, people like you, Sarah, who, you've got that calling, into the shop you come. And then, I love the nights when you do work. You're right, it doesn't feel like work. I'm just sitting there going, I love this.
Oh, it's the best. It really is. And you make so many friends and so many connections. And you can just see, I love looking at, some of the people that come in for these workshops' eyes when they realize that they've found a community that gets them. Because I think when we're going through our awakenings and we're going through this really isolated time, as fun as it is, it's really challenging, because you just don't feel like anyone gets you or understands you, or you feel like you're completely insane. I know I did, and I still do, but I'm pretty comfortable with being insane now. It's okay. It's really fun. But when you're first starting this off, it's really intense. So when you find a tribe that gets you, that actually is experiencing whatever they're experiencing in their journey, you just feel so, I don't know what the word is, at home. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think what you're doing is so much more important than you can ever imagine.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's really, really important. And I really encourage any listeners that have the opportunity to start bringing a collection of people that a community that could possibly help and assist each other to start doing that, because we really need each other. We need to bounce off our ideas. We need to know what's working for us and have that taste test to see what we're excited about. What brings us excitement and joy is our alignment, isn't it? So
that's it.
The fact that you followed that, you did that. and I did the same thing, and it's just been a beautiful journey.
I was going to say, you were right when you say things just align, because the amount of people that will walk in that are more, oh, I didn't even know your shop was here. And I'm like, no, like, you will find me when you're ready and in your walk. And then just, especially with the classes, to have something different and see their faces light up when they go, oh, I can do this, or that interests me and they want to learn more about it. It's a beautiful thing.
And I don't know how you do it, Amanda. I watch you. You're doing your healings a few times a week. You're doing readings. You're running this incredible business that is doing so fantastic, and also running these incredibly exciting and fun workshops. Very inspirational, and an incredible inspiration to see. A working mum doing this work, and I just love it. I love it. And I love that the community around us as well are all sort of working together to uplift each other. I love that.
That's it. I love the connections with businesses. So you do have a lot of local, like this week alone, I was at Born Free Clothing doing readings, and the same at Vive doing readings for their big events. And I love when businesses are helping work together, helping pick everyone up, because we are a small town and we do want people to shop local, and we do want everyone to do well in the community. So yeah, I do love that.
Absolutely. So people listening all around the world, don't forget little Wallen and Kilmore in Victoria, Australia. And if you ever come down to Victoria, come and visit Enchanted Crystal Company.
That's it. I'm not just to buy the crystals. If you just need a chat or just to get something off your chest, I'm always an ear or a shoulder to cry on if you need one.
I love it, honestly, and I am witness to that. So many times I've gone to your shop for meetings. I love our meetings that last like 5 hours. And so many times people will walk in and we'll just like pause the meeting, and then someone will just burst out crying, and then we just like, you'll just be bouncing in there and getting through all this. It's incredibly therapeutic, beautiful work. It really is, because people are really, sometimes they need something a little bit more energetic, more metaphysical than what they've already been doing. What they've been doing may not have been working. And this is like that icing on the cake that just clicks everything together. And you can see it in their face. You can just see it.
And too, the feeling we get when someone's come in and you've just given them that bit of clarity, that little bit of love, that people need to know that they're not alone, or they can get through this. And there's no better feeling. Like, I'm tired. I'm so tired. But at the end of the day, you go, mate, this is what I'm doing it for. Like, is there no better way to live than to help people and know that you've made a difference in the world?
Well, I recently read a book. My guides have been badgering me to read it, and it's called Many Lives, Many Masters. And I highly recommend everyone to read that book, because it's incredible. And it talked about the true purpose of why we're here, and it's to share knowledge and love. And I was like, of course it is. Of course it is. And they also talked about not just sticking within your own little vibrational groups. So meaning our vibrations match certain groups and we stick with them because it's comfortable. But it's about expanding to different groups of people and, challenging your vibration with different vibrations and helping them raise and giving them your knowledge. And I think that's what we're doing. And I'm really proud of us for that, because we're getting out there in the community, putting ourselves in the line of criticism and judgment, because this is a particular modality that isn't
yeah. I didn't want to be known as the crazy lady of Kilmore, but you gotta just do what you have to do.
Pretty level-headed too, though, and we have to be with our children, but it also just allows us to spread knowledge. Whatever knowledge we're picking up, we're passing on. Isn't that
That's it.
beautiful? And it's always a message of love. And it's always, that's what I love about you, Amanda. You're the same as me. You love to spread excitement, joy, fun, love. And it's not about that fear mongering stuff, because we've had enough of that.
That's it. I just really want people to know that there are people out there that are probably like you, that are maybe like, oh, should I do this? Should I not do this? Or do I have the talent? Do I not have talent? And, just come in and give us a go.
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfect. No, that's perfectly said. There are so many people out there thinking that they're going crazy, or that there's no one else they can talk to, or if they go and try and find a tribe, it's going to be some, very serious, group that have been doing this for a long time. No, no, no. We're all novices in so many different areas, and we're all learning every single day, and none of us have got it all together. And I'm learning something new every single workshop, and I know you are too.
Yep.
And we run these businesses, you get to learn constantly, and it never ever stops. And the more people that start to expand and enjoy their conscious state, the better. Absolutely. So keep doing this amazing work, Amanda. You're absolutely incredible and a huge inspiration. And I know that you've dealt with so many health issues in the past, but you utilize them as incredible challenges that have brought you here as well. Would that be fair to say?
Very, very fair. Yes.
So keep being the incredible inspiration you are, because we really appreciate it. And thank you for being my first ever guest on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yay. Thanks so much, Amanda. Have an awesome week.
Thanks, you too.
What a great interview. I am having so much fun recording these podcasts and sharing this knowledge with you. If you think that you have some really cool stories or something that you would like to share on this podcast, I would love to hear from you. So please feel free to reach out. And if you would like some more information in regards to my company, Wallen Healing Tree, and the services that I provide, I would absolutely love to hear from you too. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or www.wallenhealingtree.com. Thanks very much again for listening, and keep choosing kindness. Bye.